this gets us to another point, right? Like how all of that is helping us as an organization to adapt to the new environment, right? That is changing. I mean, look at the 2 years ago, a little bit more, we didn't have a chat GPT. Now we have it. Every conversation is about some form of AI, how this is going to impact my job, et cetera, right? And I think if you have this stiff, very rigid point of view on something, I don't think you're going to make a progress,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? So, yeah, Jamal, what is your take on that adaptability process and how important it is for leaders to bring
Right.
and be selective to your point? You have a limited time when you have to make a change
Mhm.
so that it has an impact. How important it is for a CEO or C level team to hire the individuals that will lead their own specific areas.
It's crucial. I mean, we could just look at Intel right now, right? I mean, if we just
Yeah.
want to take something that's present day, right? Like you have this opportunity to kind of be in the forefront, and Nvidia is just wiping you out. You could look at the, Netflix versus Blockbuster, right? So just things where if you just stayed ahead of it and you were able to adapt. Technology is changing. And to your point with AI, it's changing every day, quickly, quickly. So those that, can't move with that are failed to be sucked up and doomed by that. In the world of recruiting, I have those friends and former colleagues that are old school, right? They don't want to use AI for anything. And I'm like, okay, you know, at your own death wish, right? Do that.
You getting people that telling you that they don't want to use it for anything?
They feel like there's just a way to do it, right? There's the old school way. And I'm like, things change. I myself have taken AI classes because I'm like, I want to know how this works. I want to understand that. I'm going to have to work with people that are particularly younger than me in some sense. And so I want to be able to speak their language. And I'll work with people that are older than me and I want to help to bring them along. So for me, even in recruiting, there's adaptability, right? That we have to do and we have to be mindful of. And so I think from a go to market standpoint, if you're not thinking about, once again, what's around the corner, you're doomed. You're going to fail your company for sure.
Kyle, what is your take on this?
One thing that my mind kind of goes to with regards to recruiting anyways in terms of the adaptability, I mean, certainly there's a lot of technology and tools that we have at our disposal, but to a degree the market changes as well, and in recruiting you deal with people, so I think you need to be conscious of, like, at the moment I think we're in a very kind of employer centric market, and we may
Mhm.
get into this a little bit later, but I think we're at a point where a really attractive company can make certain demands of a really high performing employee that they wouldn't have been able to 5 years ago. So that's just a bit of a different shift. And I think certainly with regards to the go to market space, staying ahead of just approach technology, I think is huge. The other thing that I think is interesting, if you look at the technology space, I'm a big believer that there's a certain person who can come in and do a great job when a company's at its infancy, kind of in that building phase. And then that same person may not have the adaptability to see that company scale. And then past the
Yeah.
scale, when it's possibly, 100 million, $1 billion plus company, that's a very different person. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a very unique individual, I think, who has the adaptability to be dangerous and be high performing in all those different situations. It's just fundamentally different problems that the company is experiencing.
That's a
Yeah,
very good point.
that's a great point. That's a great point. Yeah.